Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute or a month or several months since I've last posted a video, and I know that I preface every video with saying that I'm back and it's been a while, but this time I promise I am actually back. I have loads of content ideas for you guys, starting with today's video.
Hey, I'm on vacation every single day cause I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it.
I've got a nice little introduction here for you all about working remote, because that is what I do, and I feel like there are a lot of people who are looking to do that as well. So I'd like to share all the tips and tricks I have for breaking into this field and how you can do it too. So a little bit of background on me so you know what work I do and what education I have, because I think that's important to consider with the tips that I give. I graduated from Bradley University in December of 2019, so we're going on almost a year since my graduation, and I majored in communications with a concentration in advertising. My primary focus is social media management, so I run accounts on Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, pretty much every platform you can think of, and I do some copywriting as well. But there are so many different avenues that you can take to working remote, and that's what I want to talk about a little bit here today, because I don't want you to hear what I do and think that that's the only thing that you can do, or that that's the only area that my tips are applicable to, because that's just not true. Before we deep dive on how to get started working remote and freelancing though, I want to first touch on who should do it and why you should do it. There's a good chance that you're watching this video because you've seen people post on Instagram, maybe you've seen coaches selling ebooks about working remote, going digital, working from your phone, all of that, and you want to know how you can do it too. Me too, I've been there. But I want to talk about who this is right for, because although technically anyone could work remote, I don't think that everyone should. I think it does require some personality characteristics that everybody may not have, and I don't mean that as a dig or a bad thing at all. I just mean the same way that an office isn't cut out for some people, neither is working from home. Working from your laptop or working remote does not mean not working. While it does allow a lot more freedom in how you structure your day and the environment that you work in and your ability to travel, it doesn't mean that you're not actually actively working. In fact, you have to be really responsible and disciplined in order to work remote, because it all comes down to the work that you provide. I think in some office jobs, I've worked them before, not even necessarily an office job, but just an in-person job in general, there are so many times that you clock in for a shift, you do next to nothing, you clock out, and as long as you were there, that's all that mattered. Remote work is just not like that. It's more task oriented, so I will say that it's almost like you have a to-do list of things that you need to get done, you have projects that you're working on, and you have to show up and you have to complete them. You also have to be pretty self-motivated, because unlike an ordinary work environment, you don't have a bunch of coworkers or a manager or a boss that are watching you or working with you directly in that room. So you have to be disciplined enough to just stay focused and stay working even when you're by yourself. Okay, so now let's dive into the nitty-gritty. How do you get started in this? I think the first step is narrowing down what your skill is. So like I said, I do social media. There are people that are even more detailed than that. Like, there are Facebook specialists, there are women who do just Instagram, or they specialize in a certain market of those. So they do just like copywriting for nonprofits, so on and so forth. When you're first getting started, please don't think that you have to get that specific. What I mean is that you just need to figure out what skill you want to hone in on first. And it may be a couple. Definitely don't try to be a jack of all trades at first. I know that when you're first getting started, you might think, well, the more I have to offer, the more likely I am to land a job. But honestly, it's better for you to pick 1 to 3 things that you're interested in, refine some of those skills, look for jobs there, get better, and then go forward. So while I focus on social media, you could do photography, you could do videography, you could do SEO, you could do analytics, you could do, and these are really like all under marketing and communications, but honestly, there are ones even beyond that. So that's just something that you would need to look into. I know that there are even like freelance accountants. So if you studied accounting, but working in an office just ended up not being for you, or working on a really big team ended up not being for you, that's something that you can do from your computer. If you don't know what area you want to focus in on yet, or you don't really care and your only priority is just to get working online, then I would suggest starting as a VA or a virtual assistant. That doesn't mean that that job requires no skill, because it does. It's just the least niche. So you don't necessarily need to have qualifications in a certain area or a degree in a certain area in order to get started there. Whereas you may need some skills in social media or some experiences in order to get started. So this is a great intro level. And then honestly, if you love VA work, you can easily work up as a higher paid VA too, the more skilled that you get there. But it's a good basis. As far as where to go to initially get started, I have found all of my freelance and remote work through a group called Females in Digital and Social Media Marketing. And I joined that group in order to just kind of network and refine my skills. It's a really active Facebook group, and they post jobs in it all the time, just people looking for, one-off gigs, maybe somebody to design a website for them, or somebody to manage their social media or consult on social media with them, all sorts of stuff. So I found my job through there, and I would suggest looking for Facebook groups, again, in that skill set or field that you're planning to go into. So if you wanted to be a VA, there are virtual assistant Facebook groups that you can get started in. And yeah, I would just search anything that matches your field on Facebook groups, and you would be really amazed at what you find. They're super helpful. Then I'd recommend joining freelancing websites. So 2 really popular ones are Upwork and Fiverr, and these are places where you can put your portfolio up, you can put your rates up, you can put just like what skills you have to offer, and then at the same time some clients can put up what they're looking for and you can apply to those. A lot of this is more one-off stuff, which is really good if you're trying to build a portfolio, if you're just getting started, and also to kind of test the waters too, because you only have to commit to one project, which may only take a week or a month of your time, and then if you didn't like it, it helps you to understand and get closer to what you will actually like, rather than committing to a full-time job. The next thing I want to touch on that I think is really important is education and what requirements there are, because I don't want anyone to think that they have to have a bachelor's degree, they have to have gone to college in order to do this. Well, that's what I personally did, and I do think it has helped me immensely in my job. It's not required for everyone, and you can learn a lot just by getting started. And again, doing these one-off projects, taking on a little bit of work here, a little bit of work there, and you learn and you build your portfolio just as you would in the real world with getting regular jobs. The only difference is you can kind of build at a more rapid pace. One, because you can take on multiple clients at a time, and again, they're shorter periods. So, in the span of 1 year, say you only did one client a month, you would still have 12 things to put on your resume or in your portfolio at the end of that year, versus in a more traditional job where you'd probably likely only have 1 to 2 things to put on your resume. So you can very quickly build up experience here and refine your skills. With that being said, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't learn. There are YouTube videos. I mean, the internet has like so many resources, but even specifically, there are online courses from LinkedIn, from Google, on Canva, on Hootsuite, things like that, ways to get certified in these areas that you can put on your resume if you don't have a degree or if you want to supplement your degree. Honestly, my biggest tip for you guys is to just get started. I know it can seem overwhelming and it can be really intimidating, and there is kind of this sea of information online, so it's like, again, where do I get started? And do I have to have a website and an Instagram and an LLC and all of this? And you don't. You decide what pace you want to go, but the best thing to do is to just dive in and take on that first client, apply for that first online gig, whatever it may be, and then just go from there. And I mean, the best way to learn is to just do. So again, my biggest piece of advice is to just dive in. Don't get caught up in all of the details and feel like you have to have this whole portfolio all put together, because honestly, if you try to do that, you may never get around to doing it at all. Okay, that's all I have for you guys in this video. I hope it was helpful and you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. I do have plenty of videos to come all about setting your prices as a freelancer, where specifically to find work, getting that first client. I've got all of those tips and those will be coming in future videos. But for now, I just wanted to kind of do a little surface level video of just what working remote is like, what it means, who it's for, and briefly how you can get started. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button below, leave me a comment with any questions and what you would like to see in the future. And yeah, I will see you guys next time, and I promise that next time is not 9 months away or a year and a half away. It'll be next week.